Welcome to the principal's office with Dr. Gould. Today my guest is Mr. Michael Frates, our physical education teacher. And welcome, Mr. Frates. Good to have you.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Good. Many of you might know Mike. He grew up here in Dartmouth, and he's contributed. How many years have you taught for?
20. This is 20.
Wow. Wow. That's great. Now, what neighborhood did you grow up in Dartmouth?
I actually grew up right around the corner from here, Pontigansett Village.
Nice.
You know, nice little place.
Great.
Close to everything.
Great. And Mike has a great way about him with the kids, and it's very impressive to see. Where did you go to college?
I went to Plymouth State in New Hampshire. Got my undergrad there and got my master's from AIC in Springfield.
Great. Now, how would you say you decided to become a teacher? How did you get here, I guess I'm asking?
I think I was at the point where I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. I mean, I had gone to school. I'd ended up getting my degree, my phys ed degree.
Yeah.
You know, kind of always knew I wanted to do something with sports and coaching. And it was one of those things that kind of hit me one day. I was out of school. I was back home. I was done playing baseball in college, and you know, I was like lifeguarding in the summer, which was fine. I didn't, you know,
Yeah.
that was fun. But it was, you know, it was the first time that I had to work like year round, because then I had to find a job because I wasn't in school, and all of a sudden it hit me, and it's like, you know what, I want to teach. And it was almost one of those things where it was a no-brainer, but it took me a little bit to kind of figure it out.
That's great. And, you know, as you're talking about it, Mike, one of the things that sometimes kids make bad choices, and as the principal or the administrator, what I've found to be very successful is that we ask Mike to enter the conversation. And he has a great way with kids in having a conversation. He comes at it from a mentor-like, non-threatening way. And his title of PE teacher or physical education teacher kind of puts the kid or the student at ease. And I've seen it firsthand, and it's really nice. You have a
Thanks.
good way. You're welcome.
I try not to forget what it was like when I was their age.
Yeah.
You know, and I think if you kind of keep that perspective, it'll help you out.
And one of the big things is that one of my own gym teachers, back where I grew up, once in a while run into them, make a point of talking to them.
Yeah.
And I think PE is very important to a lot of students. And I think that once in a while I'll run into a teacher who will say, you know, PE is not as important to as other things are. And I think those are one of to many kids, that is the most important class.
Absolutely. It's a completely different atmosphere. You can kind of let your guard down a little bit. You know, you don't have to be self-conscious about what you're going to say, whether you're going to answer the question right. I mean, that was always a place where I was comfortable, because I wasn't super comfortable in the classroom, you know. I wasn't a poor student, but I wasn't a great student either. So I think having those outlets are it's just positive.
It is. And when you see, like, I walk into Mike's class and you see usually 3 activities going on. Sometimes the kids walk the track, sometimes they're playing ball, basketball, or they're playing volleyball, and they have like a third option.
Yeah.
Is that accurate, would you say?
Yeah, we try to offer as many things as we can, because the bottom line is we want the kids to participate, to do something.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if a kid is walking the track for an hour and 10 minutes with 2 friends, I mean, they're doing something, you know, for their bodies. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, they're getting some exercise in, and maybe just the fact that they're talking about things with their friends. They're not thinking about something that might be bothering them somewhere else, whether it's at home, whether it's in the classroom, whether it's with another student. I just think it's a good outlet. I think we do a good job trying to give kids as many options.
And that's it right there, choices. How you enlist kids today, you persuade them to do the right thing. And usually by giving them options, they're going to pick one, which is nice.
Yep.
And unlike a lot of other schools, I don't see a lot of kids sitting around, if any, in gym class. It's like they all have an option, and it's exciting.
It's funny, Chris Boyle says it all the time, and I mean, Chris, who came from Durfee, he couldn't believe it, especially the first year when he was here. We'd walk into the gym and everybody's doing something. There's nobody sitting out.
That's it.
And that was something that he's always said, you know, was pretty cool.
It is really cool, and it is uncommon to see that, because there are some kids who just aren't buying in, but by giving those options, you get buy-in. It's exciting. My next question is, what goal that you've achieved in your career are you most satisfied about?
I mean, I would have to say, I don't think I can say just one. I would say what I'm doing now, teaching, coaching, kind of giving back to a community that gave a lot to me. I would say that.
Now, your dad's in the community. He's involved.
Yeah.
What's he do?
Well, now he aggravates my mother a lot. That's his big thing. But no, he just he's retired, and he's involved in the youth programs. He does
Like what specific program?
baseball and basketball.
Great.
With the DYAA, he's been involved in that for 40 years.
That's great.
He likes it. He enjoys it. I think it keeps him young.
Yeah.
It keeps him involved. He enjoys that. He umpires. He umpires baseball. He umpires high school baseball. He does the all the leagues in the summers. So he keeps active, and it's good for him.
That's great.
Yeah,
That's
it's
great.
good for him.
And how did your mother deal with him? Does she contain him?
She tries to.
I can identify with your sentiment.
Yeah.
Well, can you describe the path on becoming the head baseball coach and golf coach?
Yeah. I mean, again, we kind of said it earlier. I'm lucky enough where I'm back in the place where I grew up. It started coaching here right away when I got back home, and it was kind of cool that I was coaching with the guy that I played for, with Tom, when Tom McDermott was the coach here. And years go by, and I ended up leaving for a little while. I went and coached with Bruce Wheeler over at UMass Dartmouth. And that was a great experience and a great opportunity because you learn different things from different people. When Coach Wheeler retired from UMass Dartmouth, I came back to the high school and kind of picked up right where I left off, baseball-wise. And I just kind of, I was a varsity assistant for most of those years. Kind of towards the end, I took the freshman head coaching job. And, Coach McDermott had kind of said, listen, I got 4 more years. And it was kind of like he kind of groomed me to be his successor. And I think that's pretty cool because I think he was, pretty comfortable kind of handing over. I mean, when you do something for 30 years and you build something over that amount of time, I think you want to see it go to somebody that is going to keep some of the traditions and hopefully keep it as important as it was to that person. The next thing you know, here we are.
That's excellent. I enjoy seeing Mike coach. This is my second year. I'm looking forward to this coming season. But last year, I remember as a kid, I always heard one coach at basketball camp talk about the word intensity. When the Dartmouth team takes the field, there is a measurable degree of intensity, and you got that's unmistakable. And I hope you guys come out to see him coach. What's a long-term goal you're currently working towards?
I'd like to give myself some options down the road. I've taken some classes, post-master's classes, kind of towards doctorate, kind of. But I'm not sure if the one. I think where I ultimately would like to be. And this isn't anything now. This is for the future. I could see maybe an athletic director position, something along that lines. I want to stay in the classroom, and I want to stay with the kids as long as I can.
It's wonderful.
But it's an option, and you never know.
Oh, and being with one of the they had asked me if you didn't get the principal's job, what would your ideal job be? And I said classroom teacher, and they were shocked. I love teaching history. I love talking about education. I love political science. It's something I love to do. Yeah. And being with the kids and teaching them, it's important and meaningful most of all. Yeah. So I see that. I hear that from you. Can you name some people who have had the greatest impact on your life?
Yeah, I mean, I've mentioned a couple. I mean, my parents, I would have to say right off the bat, I wouldn't be where I am today if it weren't for them. I mean, just the values they instilled, myself and, my brothers.
How many brothers do you have? 2.
Okay. 2 brothers. All went to Dartmouth High.
Older, younger?
Both younger. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's kind of funny. At one point, there was a 9-year period where either myself or one of my brothers started as a first baseman
Really?
Yeah, for Dartmouth High. Because we're all 3 years apart, the way it worked. So kind of when I got out, my brother Steve, he took over, and he was there for 3 years. And when he got out, my brother Chris took over, and he was there for 3 years.
Nice.
So, but my parents and what they instilled in us as far as, just work ethic and kind of treating people the right way. And they wanted better for us than they had,
Yep.
and so, it starts there. Carlin Lynch, I mean, I'm at Dartmouth High right now because of Carlin Lynch. I mean, I remember the phone call I got. I think he might have found out I was certified before I found out. Him giving me the opportunity to teach here.
Now, the activity center is named after him,
Yeah.
and for those who don't know, Mr. Lynch has had a dramatic and historical impact on shaping Dartmouth. I've had the pleasure of hanging out with Mr. Lynch. He's a kind man. He actually kind of looks, to me, very Irish, very
a little bit.
and he has charisma,
Yeah.
and he's a natural-born leader. And I think
Yep.
he's a kind man as well. So I can see that, and I've heard nothing but praise for the man.
Well, I mean, I owe him a lot. I mean, and that's probably not something he wants to hear,
Yeah.
but it's true, and I think a lot of people have that same feeling.
I agree.
Guys like him, I mean, Tom McDermott, I played for him, coached with him, taught with him, was a student, was a colleague, was a mentor, still friends, real important guy. Bruce Wheeler over at UMass Dartmouth.
Yeah.
Having that opportunity to go over and see how somebody else coaches on a different level, different philosophies, and you take things from people that you interact with or meet over the years.
That's great.
You know?
And I think that having been to several schools, one of the most difficult situations you have is in other schools, and not so much here at Dartmouth, is when you have coaches who don't have a background in education, and coaches, even if they have a background in education, don't work in the school they coach at. And I think
Yeah.
Dartmouth is pretty steeped in that. Dartmouth gets that, and I think you're an example of that.
Yeah.
So that's great. What are some of your favorite leisure time activities and hobbies?
Really anything outside. I don't like being inside. Golf, kind of the golf thing.
How did you get that coaching job?
That kind of fell in my lap.
Yeah?
And it was always one of those things where I was like, that's kind of a perfect situation. Golf in the fall, baseball in the spring. And that's what happened. The guy who was doing it, he'd been doing it for a while. He ended up, I think, getting a job somewhere else, and the position opened up. And Jeff was the AD. Jeff was the AD. And,
Okay,
and
Jeff, Mr. Karen.
Mr. Karen, yeah, Jeff Karen. And
Yeah.
I think him and I had actually had the conversation, maybe a year earlier, and I had said if anything ends up coming
Sure.
up, just keep me in mind. And that came up. It was a good fit. The team plays at Allendale.
Yep.
Great course. I've been playing there for as long as I can remember.
I enjoy going out, I enjoyed, I think this fall and the previous fall, going out and seeing the team golf, and they were giving me the double take, because I don't think that typically the principal goes to see the golf team.
No, I would say last couple of principals, I don't think they knew where the golf team played.
It's fun.
Or if there was a golf team.
Well, that's fun. I also, I shocked some kids because the sailing team, I went out on the launch, Mr. Karen and I don't think Mr. Karen will mind us saying that. I said to the person steering the boat, Mr. Karen and I better sit balance the weight here. So it was pretty funny. But I like to see those kids go out and play. And I got to tell you, the coaches we have here at Dartmouth, you can trust those coaches. And that's not so at every school. So it's exciting. Can you tell us something most people don't know about you?
Most people don't know about. Actually, I like to cook.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I like to cook. Whether it's grill, on the grill. I've been going to the Patriots games. I have season tickets to the Patriots. My brothers and I, is a whole group of us, and I do all the cooking. I don't know. I just enjoy it. I like it.
Do you have the whole rig set up for the tailgating?
No, we got everything.
Really?
We got everything. Yeah.
There's one fellow I know. I always drive by his house, and he has almost like a Patriot ambulance with all the stickers and stuff like that. You must have seen those vehicles.
we got a great setup. We got huge tents. We got heaters. We got televisions. We got
That's
all the
great.
accessories. Everything we need is right there.
That's awesome. I enjoy those times too. What do you like best about working at Dartmouth High School?
and I think I've probably said it a few times, being able to give back to a place that I grew up in, you know. You know, the people are good, are real good. It's a fun place to come to work every morning.
Yep.
You know, you show up, you do your thing, you have some fun. There's a time where you got to work, and you know, whether it's professional responsibilities or doing something that someone asked you to do or helping someone else out. I think that's what makes it a unique and a cool place to work.
And you can see you enjoy your job.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I mean, think about it. I dress comfortably. I hang out. I work with kids. You know, play a few games. Maybe one day I'm shooting hoops. Maybe the next day I'm playing a floor hockey. I mean, it's pretty cool thing.
I think I told you a story where I knew a teacher. I believe it was Oxford, and for 11 years he was a classroom teacher. And every day he saw the PE teacher go out to the field or go to the gymnasium. And when that gym teacher retired, he had his certification lined up, and on his 12th year, day one, he became a gym teacher.
Yeah.
I think it's a great sport. I think you can get to class, and I think you can get to kids in ways that in other classes you can't access them.
Yeah, and I mean, and I get what we're doing in there. I mean, we're not building rocket ships.
Yeah.
But you know, we may get to kids in other ways that in other classes they never, you know, they never get there. Kind of, you know what I'm saying?
I do. I do remember talking to an administrator who at his school he wanted to cut PE or substitute sports for PE, and one student had said, "Oh, PE brings down my average," and I said, "Well, PE brought up my average." They just looked at me.
You can look at it both ways, right?
That's it, and I just think it's great to participate in. But what's special about your class is that you make room for everyone, and there's a spot for everyone through choices.
Yeah.
Mr. Frates, I want to say thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time at the principal's office with Mr. Gould. Thank you.